Conjunctions. You will already know that conjunctions are joining words. One job they have is to join two different parts of a sentence together. This type of conjunction is called a coordinating conjunction. The main coordinating conjunctions are and, but, and or. Some other useful coordinating conjunctions include so and yet. These coordinating conjunctions can be used when the two parts of the sentence or clauses are about similar things. You can use them to join the two clauses together. However, each of the joined clauses must make sense on their own. Marcy clung onto the wind weaver. She flew through the dusty clouds. These two clauses could be joined with the coordinating conjunction and. Marcy clung onto the wind weaver and she flew through the dusty clouds. It is worth noting that sometimes you can leave the subject out in the second clause, as it just isn't needed after the conjunction is added. Marcy clung onto the wind weaver and flew through the dusty clouds. We know that Marcy is completing both of these actions because the ideas were joined with the conjunction and. Let's look at some more examples. Marcy fell from the wind weaver. She held onto her hat. We could use the coordinating conjunction but with this sentence. Marcy fell from the wind weaver but held onto her hat. Notice how the subject word she is not needed once again in the second clause, as we know Marcy is carrying out both of the actions. Marcy spied the Sphinx in the distance. She knew where she was heading. This sentence could become Marcy spied the Sphinx in the distance, so knew where she was heading. Let's try another sentence. The wind weaver knew it had to help Marcy. Her father would be in trouble. This could become the wind weaver knew it had to help Marcy, or her father would be in trouble. Pause the video now to complete the first activity within your books. Welcome back. We are now going to learn about another type of conjunctions called subordinating conjunctions. Marcy clung onto the wind weaver as they took to the air. This sentence contains a subordinating conjunction, but we need to find out why. Marcy clung onto the wind weaver is the main clause. It is the part of the sentence which makes sense on its own. It is an independent clause. As they took to the air is the subordinate clause. It contains extra information added to the main clause, but it doesn't make sense on its own. It requires the main clause to make sense, and these are joined by a subordinating conjunction. The subordinating conjunction is as, and this joins the main clause and the subordinate clause together. Let's look at some subordinating conjunctions you could use in your writing, and then we can look at some of them in sentences. Because, as, after, before, if, unless, although, even though, since, until, when, while, and though. Marcy saved her hat after dropping the scarf. The subordinate conjunction after is used to join the subordinate clause to the main clause. You will see that the main clause is in blue, the subordinate clause is in red, and the subordinate conjunction, which starts the subordinate clause, is in pink to make each part of the sentence clear. The wind weaver guided Marcy until the Sphinx was in sight. Marcy was determined to help her father, even though she was anxious about the outcome. Subordinating conjunctions can also go at the start of sentences. When this happens, the whole of the subordinate clause moves to the start of the sentence, followed by the main clause at the end. These are split by a comma. Let's look at an example. If Marcy made it to the Sphinx, there was a good chance she could help Arthur. If is the subordinating conjunction at the start of the subordinate clause, if Marcy made it to the Sphinx, and this is followed by a comma. Notice that the main clause, there was a good chance she could help Arthur, comes after the comma and ends the sentence. Let's look at some more examples with the subordinate conjunction at the start of the sentence. While Marcy flew on the wind weaver, her father was disappearing further into the depths of the Sphinx. When Marcy fell, she had no idea where she would land. Now you will complete a second task, this time on subordinating conjunctions.